Did you know that urban gardens can reduce your food bill by up to 50%? Or that the average backyard can potentially save over 20,000 gallons of water annually through simple, smart design? It's true. Your yard holds incredible potential, and the key to unlocking it lies in permaculture. Permaculture isn't just a buzzword. It's a revolutionary approach to gardening and living that mimics nature's own systems. Imagine transforming your yard into a thriving, self-sustaining ecosystem. Picture growing your own food, conserving water, and supporting local wildlife, all while making a positive impact on the planet. In this video, we'll dive into the basics of permaculture and show you how to design your yard for maximum sustainability. We'll explore how to start small and think big. Use nature's designs to your advantage, build rich, healthy soil, and create plant communities that support each other. Ready to turn your garden into a powerhouse of productivity and sustainability? Let's get started and discover how your yard can make a real difference. Chapter 1. Start small, think big. Microzones for maximum impact. When diving into permaculture, it's tempting to tackle everything at once. But here's a tip. Start small. Permaculture is all about designing systems that are efficient and sustainable. So focusing on microzones in your yard can give you maximum impact with minimal effort. Microzones are small, manageable areas that can be tailored to specific functions, like growing vegetables or attracting pollinators. This approach not only makes the task less overwhelming, but also allows you to learn and adapt as you go. Consider the idea of stacking functions. For example, a small herb garden near your kitchen window can serve multiple purposes, providing fresh herbs, repelling pests, and adding beauty to your home. By thinking in microzones, you can make the most of every square foot. Start with one zone and get it thriving before moving on to the next. This method allows you to focus your energy and resources efficiently. Plus, small successes build momentum. According to a study by the University of California, urban gardens can produce up to 13 pounds of food per square foot annually. That's a lot of fresh produce from a tiny space. Remember, the goal is to create a sustainable ecosystem. Microzones make it easier to experiment and find what works best in your yard's unique conditions. As you grow more confident, you can expand your zones, thinking bigger while maintaining the same principles. It's a journey, and starting small is the best way to get there. Chapter 2. Green Architects, Designing with Nature's Blueprint. Permaculture is about working with nature, not against it. When designing your sustainable yard, think like a green architect. Let nature be your blueprint. Biomimicry, the practice of imitating natural systems, is key here. For example, look at how forests manage water. They capture, store, and slowly release it. You can mimic this by creating swales, shallow ditches on contour, that help manage rainwater in your garden. Swales reduce erosion and keep your plants hydrated longer. Another great example of biomimicry is the use of polycultures instead of monocultures. In nature, you never see a field of just one plant. Instead, plants grow in diverse communities that support each other. By mimicking this in your yard, you create a resilient system that's less prone to pests and disease. Plus, diversity can increase yield. Studies show that polycultures can produce up to 20% more than monocultures. That's a big boost just by copying nature's design. It's not just about what you plant, but how you arrange it. Think about the layers of a forest: tall trees, understory shrubs, ground cover plants, and roots below the soil. Each layer serves a function and supports the others. You can recreate this in your yard by planting trees, shrubs, and herbs together, making the most of your space both above and below ground. Remember, nature has been refining its design for millions of years. By following its blueprint, you're tapping into a tried-and-true system that's incredibly effective. Chapter 3. Soil Secrets, Cultivating the Foundation of Life. Healthy soil is the foundation of any successful garden. And in permaculture, it's all about building soil that's rich in life. Composting is a good start, but let's go deeper. One advanced technique is adding biochar to your soil. Biochar is a type of charcoal that, when added to soil, can significantly improve its fertility. It's been used for thousands of years in the Amazon, where it's called terra preta, or black earth. Biochar enhances soil's ability to retain nutrients and water, making it a powerhouse for plant growth. Another soil-building secret is incorporating mycorrhizal fungi. These fungi form symbiotic relationships with plant roots, extending their reach and helping them access more nutrients. Studies show that plants with these fungi can grow up to 30% more than those without. It's like giving your plants a natural boost. You can introduce mycorrhizal fungi by adding inoculants to your soil, or by planting companion plants known to host these beneficial organisms. Don't forget about the importance of organic matter. Cover cropping, or growing plants specifically to be turned back into the soil, is a great way to add organic matter. This not only feeds your plants, but also builds soil structure, improves water retention, and encourages beneficial microorganisms. According to the USDA, each 1% increase in soil organic matter helps soil hold up to 20,000 gallons of additional water per acre. That's a big deal, especially in dry climates. Healthy soil is teeming with life. Worms, bacteria, fungi, and more, all working together to support your plants. By focusing on building this foundation, you're setting up your garden for long-term success. Soil is more than just dirt. It's a living system, and nurturing it is key to sustainable gardening. Chapter 4. Guild Builders, the art of symbiotic plant partnerships. In permaculture, plants are more than just pretty faces. They're part of a team. Plant guilds are groups of plants that work together, supporting each other in a way that mimics natural ecosystems. The classic example is the three sisters of Native American agriculture: corn, beans, and squash. The corn provides a structure for the beans to climb. The beans fix nitrogen in the soil, and the squash covers the ground, reducing weeds and retaining moisture. It's a simple yet powerful system. But you can take plant guilds beyond the three sisters. Consider adding nitrogen-fixing plants like clover or lupine around your fruit trees. These plants enrich the soil with nitrogen, a crucial nutrient for plant growth. Research shows that incorporating nitrogen fixers into your garden can increase crop yields by up to 30%. That's a huge gain for just adding a few extra plants. Another guild strategy is to include plants that attract beneficial insects. For example, planting yarrow or dill can attract ladybugs, which feast on aphids and other pests. You can also include dynamic accumulators like comfrey, which draw nutrients up from deep in the soil and make them available to other plants. Creating plant guilds is like assembling a dream team in your garden. Each plant plays a role, contributing to the overall health and productivity of the system. This approach not only makes your garden more resilient, but also reduces the need for external inputs like fertilizers and pesticides. It's a smart, sustainable way to garden that's grounded in the wisdom of nature. Loving the content? Subscribe and let's jump right back into the action. Chapter 5. Water Whisperer. Innovative Harvesting and Conservation Techniques. Water is life, especially in a sustainable garden, but managing it wisely takes more than just a rain barrel. One innovative technique is keyline design. This method, developed by Australian farmer P.A. Yeomans, involves contouring the land to slow, spread, and sink water. By shaping your yard to follow natural contours, you can direct rainwater to where it's most needed, reducing runoff and erosion. It's like giving your garden a long, slow drink instead of a quick splash. Another smart strategy is creating a rain garden. Rain gardens are shallow, planted depressions that capture and filter rainwater. They're great for areas where water tends to pool or runoff is an issue. Not only do they help manage water, but they also attract beneficial wildlife like birds and butterflies. According to the EPA, a well-designed rain garden can absorb 30% more water than a standard lawn, making it a powerful tool for water conservation. Gray water systems are another unique way to recycle water in your garden. These systems capture water from sinks, showers, and washing machines and reuse it to water plants. It's a simple but effective way to make the most of every drop. Studies show that gray water can reduce household water usage by up to 50%, which is significant, especially in drought-prone areas. Imagine cutting your water bill in half just by reusing what you already have. Swales, rain gardens, and gray water systems all work to keep water where you want it, feeding your plants and nurturing your soil. By incorporating these techniques, you can turn your yard into a self-sustaining oasis that's resilient even in dry times. Water management isn't just about saving resources. It's about creating a garden that thrives no matter what the weather brings. Chapter 6. Wildlife Welcomes. Creating a haven for beneficial creatures. A sustainable yard is one that welcomes wildlife. But we're not just talking about birds and butterflies. Beneficial insects, amphibians, and even small mammals play crucial roles in a permaculture garden. To create a haven for these creatures, start by adding native plants. Native plants are adapted to your local climate and soil, making them easier to care for and more attractive to local wildlife. According to the National Wildlife Federation, yards with native plants support up to 60% more bird species than those with non-native plants. You can also create habitats by adding features like ponds, rock piles, and brush heaps. A small pond, for instance, can attract frogs and toads, which are natural pest controllers. These amphibians can eat up to 10,000 insects in a single season. That's like having a free pest control service right in your backyard. Don't forget about the importance of dead wood. Leaving a fallen log or a dead tree in your yard might seem untidy, but it's a boon for wildlife. Dead wood provides habitat for everything from insects to small mammals and even fungi, which play a crucial role in breaking down organic matter and returning nutrients to the soil. A study by the Forest Service found that deadwood supports over 1,000 species of invertebrates, which in turn support a wide range of birds and other animals. By creating a wildlife-friendly yard, you're not just attracting pretty visitors, you're building a balanced ecosystem. This balance means fewer pests, healthier plants, and a more vibrant, lively garden. Plus, there's something deeply rewarding about seeing nature thrive in the space you've created. Chapter 7. Energy Efficiency, the solar-powered yard and beyond. When we think of energy efficiency, solar panels often come to mind. But in permaculture, energy efficiency goes beyond just solar power. One innovative approach is the passive solar greenhouse. These greenhouses are designed to capture and store the sun's heat, keeping your plants warm even in cooler months. By using materials like thermal mass, such as water barrels or stone walls, you can store heat during the day and release it at night, extending your growing season without extra energy input. Another great idea is to use solar water pumps. These pumps can be used to circulate water in ponds, irrigate gardens, or even run a small aquaponics system. They're powered by the sun, so they're energy efficient and eco-friendly. According to the Department of Energy, solar water pumps can save up to 75% of the energy compared to traditional electric pumps. That's a big energy saving for a small investment. Don't forget about wind energy, especially if you live in an area with consistent winds. Small wind turbines can be used to generate electricity for garden lights or even power a small shed or workshop. Combining wind and solar can give you a more reliable energy source throughout the year. Energy efficiency in your yard isn't just about gadgets, it's about smart design. By orienting your garden beds to maximize sunlight, planting windbreaks to protect delicate plants, and using natural materials to store and release heat, you can create a yard that's energy-wise and low impact. It's all about making the most of what nature provides while minimizing your footprint. Chapter 8. Closing the Loop. Zero Waste. Living in your backyard. Zero waste living might sound ambitious, but it's completely achievable, especially in your yard. One of the simplest ways to close the loop is by composting all organic waste. But let's take it a step further with vermicomposting, using worms to break down food scraps into rich, fertile compost. Vermicomposting is incredibly efficient. According to research, worms can process organic waste 10 times faster than traditional composting methods. Plus, the compost they produce is richer in nutrients, making it a superfood for your plants. Another strategy is to recycle gray water back into your garden. Gray water systems can be simple or complex, but the goal is the same. Reuse water that would otherwise go down the drain. This not only conserves water but also reduces your household's overall waste. You can also incorporate a permaculture composting toilet. These systems turn human waste into compost, closing the nutrient loop entirely. While it might not be for everyone, it's a powerful way to reduce waste and create valuable compost in the process. According to the World Health Organization, composting toilets can reduce household water usage by up to 30%, a significant saving. Finally, think about ways to repurpose materials. Old wood can be used to build raised beds, broken pots can become garden mosaics, and fallen leaves can be used as mulch. By rethinking waste as a resource, you can create a garden that's not only sustainable, but also full of creativity and life. Closing the loop isn't just about reducing waste. It's about finding new value in what might otherwise be thrown away. Click that subscribe button and become a part of our adventure.